How's everybody doing?
Pretty good. How you doing, Coach?
Mark, you're trying to get something set up there. You're not the best technical guy, but they great day to practice. But then again, every day is. And appreciate y'all coming out. So opening up for questions.
Coach, what have you thought about Devon Hamilton and Malcolm Brown on that defensive line?
I tell you, they're working great every day. And I tell you, Wednesday when we had our challenge day, they both really stood tall. And Ham's a second-year guy. Loved him coming out. He's got the makeup of what we need in the middle, big 330-pound girth, nose tackle that can get knocked back, and he showed that on Wednesday with pads.
How's Tyson Campbell developing for you?
He's really developing well. As you know, he was in a little bit of a setback during the OTAs, but he really had a great day on Wednesday, and he's really getting better every day. Him and Cisco are two young guys that we drafted in the secondary.
Have you decided how you want to use the guys in the scrimmage on Sunday yet?
No, shoot, that's a long ways away.
What has Hamilton has shown you so far?
Well, like I just said, I mean, when we had the pads on Wednesday, we had a lot of individual battles, one-on-ones, and he really showed up. He really was physical. He played with pad level. He didn't. I mean, he just kept going until the whistle blew, and to me, that showed a lot.
So what do you feel about Jason right now? Where does he stand?
Well, work in progress. He needs to get better, and expect more from him. Like I said last week when I was here, I expect greatness from Josh, and we're going to keep pushing Caleb on until we get it out of him. But he's got to get better.
Does he respond to that well, though? I mean, how's he responding?
Oh, yeah, he's responded to tough coaching, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. You guys kind of challenged him a little bit after OTAs when he missed a lot of OTAs. Do you feel like that? How some guys wilt under that, some guys turn it up.
He's trying to do everything we're asking. We just got to fine tune some of his technique. Keep it simple for him. Get to a spot fast, because you do have God-given ability. Get to a spot fast, and if the tackle, I'm talking his pass rush, tackle takes it away, get to your counter. That's it.
Speaking of pass rushers, what about DeJuan Smoot? What have you seen from him?
I tell you, he's getting better. He's a guy that's like Jihad Ward. Both those guys can go outside and inside, give us a lot of flexibility. And in the one-on-ones, he really did it. And in teamwork, he's getting better.
Joe, we saw Dakota Allen and a couple of the other linebackers really dropping into more of a pass rushing role. That kind of the plan moving forward for those linebackers to then, kind of also share that role with Josh and Caleb on?
Well, I think, as I said last week, in our scheme, we'll blitz anybody anywhere from anywhere on the field. A corner can come, a safety can come, a nickel. But yes, our linebackers are going to be asked to blitz. And, in the challenges the other day, both those guys that you just mentioned, Dakota was all over the field and did a nice job.
What have you seen out of the safety position thus far? I mean, Rayshon's back there, and then there's competition, it seems like, for the other spot.
I tell you what, that's a deep room, and there's competition every day. From A to Z in that room, there's great competition.
How have you liked Andre Cisco's development thus far?
I thought he had a phenomenal day on Wednesday with the pads on, and he let it loose, and I think he's going to be everything we thought he was going to be.
Hey, Joe, this run defense last year was 4.7 yards per carry. What have you seen from your scheme and the players you've added that tells you a week in that you're getting better there?
Well, during Wednesday with the pads on, we had a lot of knockback. We're looking to play square, looking to play not only your gap, but be able to squeeze blockers into gaps to condense the running lanes, and I think we're getting there. We're still a ways away, but we're getting there.
Who that you've added has helped?
Well, I think just from Malcolm Brown, okay, we asked about Ham, okay, Roy Robertson Harris, okay, Adam Gostis is healthy for the first time since he came out of Georgia Tech. So those guys have really helped. Jihad Ward, 285 pounds, setting an edge. So those guys have helped.
How long do you think it'll take C.J. Henderson to really kind of catch up after missing so much time?
Well, he had the shoulder, he had the COVID, so, it's acclimation time. So it's going to take a while.
So you guys want to, in terms of, being on the field and
well,
putting the offense.
Mentally, he's in all the meetings, and like anybody, when you come out on the field, it's a progress. These guys have had, almost the rookies have had 3 weeks. So it'll be a process.
You want to cross-train some guys in the back end, but Tyson Campbell hasn't, to my knowledge, hasn't seen a lot of safety. Is that you just don't want to put too much on his plate?
No, what he's doing, Mark, is he's playing nickel corner and corner, not safety. Like Brandon Resnick, he's playing safety and he played corner. But Tyson's a guy like Trey. They got to play outside on the perimeter at corner and inside at nickel corner. That's the cross training there.
But you're not. There's no plans for him to ever even get a reps at safety.
Not right now. We're deep. No, not right now.
In the past, this wouldn't be a defense that anybody would describe as nasty. There's been a lot more passion from those defensive guys shown on the practice field. Are you happy with the intensity you've seen from them now?
Well, I mean, it starts at the top with Coach Meyer. I mean, +2 mentality. You have to play like that. I mean, there's no shit. If you don't, you might as well just forget about it. I mean, but yeah, we're getting there. We're nowhere near where we need to be, but we're getting there. And there's some intensity, there's some amp up, and there's some nastiness.
Urban's really relied on his NFL staff, the NFL guys like yourself, to help him along the way. Is there something you can think of that maybe you've helped him, guide him the NFL way as opposed to?
I don't know if it's one thing, but Coach Bevel, Coach Schottenheimer, Coach Warhop, myself, who's had experience. I mean, he asked, and when he asked, one thing, some guys ask but never listen. Coach listens now, and if he asks you, he's going to really deeply think about it, and it could be a lot of different things, from the amount, how long you're going to practice, whether what you're going to do in situations. So there's a lot of different things, Mark.
No pads today. I'm assuming pads will be coming back on potentially tomorrow, and then the scrimmage on Sunday. What does that do for your guys mentally, going back and forth, and maybe being able to be full go and then not?
Well, the one thing that I would say, like in training camp, that happens a lot, and in the old days it was pads every day, but you never, when the season starts, you never have pads but once a week, and you only have 11 of those, because after the 11th week you can only have 3 the rest of the year. So that's all you can have. So you have to learn how to practice like we did today with just spiders on, and not slow down. And that's what you learn, how to practice, how to keep guys up, how to keep guys healthy, but still play with your fundamentals. And then when the pads come on, it's full go, but based on what we want.
Joe, what have you seen from Jay Tufele these last few weeks?
He's really grown. I think he came back in excellent shape, and he's progressing well, in terms of his, he's another guy that's big to help the scheme, a big 312 to 15-pound defensive lineman. And again, he competed when the pads came on the other day.
You were going through scouting. Was he a guy you identified back during the draft?
Yeah, we all did. Yep, sure. Yep, absolutely.
What was it that really stood out?
Well, he had a motor. He had a +2. Now, remember Jay didn't play last year. It was the year before. So, I mean, he had a great motor on tape.
Thanks, y'all.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Joe. Give us an overview of how you felt camp has gone for you so far.
Yeah, I think it's been a good camp for us, as a team. I think the biggest thing is just try to get better every day, and taking the necessary steps. I think everybody's buying into the culture that coach is building, and I'm excited for how things are going right now.
How different does an Urban Meyer training camp feel to the previous regime's training camps?
No, it's a big difference from really any camp I've ever been in. I think some of the stuff he talks about building a culture, it's not just words on the wall. It's he means it. He means everything he says, and I think it's awesome. He's just giving us different tools, different mental skills, different edges to help us win.
Elephant in the room. When you know they're going to take the quarterback #1 overall, how does that change your mindset, especially now in camp?
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. I can control how I work, how I prepare. So I'm trying to get better every day. I think when you start playing the comparison game, you're worrying about somebody else and not yourself. It's only a negative impact. So, really just focusing on myself, trying to get better every day. Trying to be the best leader I can be for these guys. It's all things I try to do.
You are the incumbent starter, so how's that relationship look like between you and Trevor, that balance?
Oh, it's great. It's great. Trevor's an awesome dude, super humble, coming in here, ready to work, ready to learn. It's been a lot of fun working with him. And I'm excited to continue to build that relationship.
It's been such an up and down for you. You come in as a rookie and then you're playing and you're starter, and then Trevor and the injury and all that stuff. And how do you kind of rectify all that or deal with all that?
Yeah, it's just, like we said, kind of controlling what you can control. I can't worry about who they draft, what happens to my hand, who's starting. At the end of the day, I can control how I practice, how I work, how I prepare. So as long as I focus on those things, I know I'm doing everything I can.
Saying on the podcast, I guess, before camp, that you're treating it as a competition and that you have every chance to win the starting job. Is that the way you have to approach it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think anytime you go into anything thinking that, you know, losing or second best is an option, you know, most of the time that's what you're going to get. That's like when Cortez landed in Veracruz with 600 dudes trying to take the Aztec Empire. You know what he said? He said, burn the boats. He said, we're going back on their boats. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the mindset that stuck with me pretty much since I've heard that story.
Some guys would have asked for a trade. What does it say about you and your personality and who you are and your drive that you said, I'm here and I'm going to stick this thing out and see it through?
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, something I'd never been through, never, you know, kind of went through this ordeal. But I've learned, let your agent handle all that stuff. You know, like I said, control what I can. I can control what team I play for. I control how I prepare, how I work, how I interact with the guys around me. So those are the things I'm focusing on, and I believe if I do all the right things that I can play in this league as long as I want.
How was the way you've been used as far as you work with the ones, you've been working with the twos? Are you happy with the way that you're getting enough work that you feel?
Yeah, all I ask for is a chance, you know, and they've said they've given me that, and they have with the reps that I've been given. So that's all I can ask for, you know. At that point, it's up to me, you know. So.
You've always described yourself as a competitive guy, a really competitive guy. Do you feel like Urban Meyer is really cultivating that sort of environment here?
Absolutely, and I think he does a great job in everywhere he's been is identifying those guys that are the competitors, the winners, the alphas. I think he does a great job finding that, cultivating a locker room full of those guys, and I'm excited to see him, you know, build this team.
How is Shenault grown as a player?
Oh man, LaVisca looks amazing. You know, last year, pretty much we just had to get him the ball any way we could. I think he's taking his route running to another level. I think he's taken, you know, just working on catching the ball great right now, which is something he's kind of always done. But I'd say his route running and then just learning the offense is two big things he's improved on.
Treadwell and Agnew both got a lot of looks today with other guys out. How have you seen them progress, Agnew especially?
Yeah, so Agnew, he just, you know, this is one of his first days back, but we had a nice hookup today. He's a guy that all through spring looked great. Has a good understanding of the offense, so I'm excited to work with him. He's very good, very explosive. And Tred's been my go-to guy this camp. You know, it's seems like he's either open. If he's not, he's catching the ball. It doesn't matter, you know. So easy guy to throw to.
Gardner, you've been here for 3 years. Tell me tangibly whether it's specific people or what it is that Urban has changed, that has changed the culture here.
I'd say a couple things. You know, I think it's how we view ourselves. You know, we view ourselves as winners, as champions, and that's something that he's building, and we're working towards that. It's something we're going to earn. And then, you know, I'd say he means it. You know, I think he truly wants to win with every bone in his body, and he wants to surround himself with guys like that. You know, and I think with the guys he's brought in, I think with the moves we're going to continue to make with the culture we're trying to cultivate, we're going to get there.
Once upon a time, you told us that Tim Tebow was a guy you really looked up to. So
100%.
Describe for us what that relationship has been like.
It's still so cool. Like every time I throw to him, I just smile. Like that's like my favorite thing, you know. But it's like it's unbelievable. You know, you hear bigger than life stories about the dude, and like it's all real. You know, it's unbelievable. Like I'm never, truly bigger than life type person. So it's been really awesome to be around him.
What are your impressions overall of this receiver group, especially bringing in somebody like Marvin Jones, kind of mentor, whatever word you want to use to the other guys?
Yeah, man, you can't overstate the help that Marvin's gonna, help us in that room. I think he shows everybody how to practice. He shows everybody how to take each and every rep seriously, how to get better each and every rep. And I think those are things that guys are gonna look at and learn from. And also, he's willing to share, all the things that have made him successful. So I think we got young guys in the room that are very impressionable, that having a voice like that can really help.
As a rookie, you had a little bit of a rough preseason. I'm sure you
No
remember
doubt.
that Baltimore. No preseason games last year. Are you looking forward to preseason this year to actually apply what you've learned during regular season games and get some work before the year starts?
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we're a little more of the hammer and not the nail, this time around, because that's kind of what it felt like. But man, I'm very excited with the guys that we've been working with. I feel like we're executing at a high level. Everybody we feel comfortable putting in there, that they know their job. So I think that's a huge thing for the preseason.
Last one.
You take a lot of crap for your number 2 comment on the podcast.
No. How long you been working on that one?
Not really, just
It's good. Yeah. Nah, man, that's
How long are you working on
Yeah,
Says things.
that's right. No, I love it, man. I love it. It's it's all mindset. It's all having fun. That's another thing I've been trying to focus on this camp. It's just having fun, man. It's a game we all love, and I think sometimes the worst thing you can do is put too much pressure on yourself. So anything to keep it light, you know.
Are you happy that you shaved the beard
Uh,
and the mullet?
no.
Appreciate you.
Good, good.
How's training camp going for you so far?
It's going pretty good. Exactly what I expected in this Florida heat. But, every day is a new challenge, but we're just collectively getting better every day.
How have you sort of adapted to your new role and just the new offense in general?
Pretty well. Still acclimating myself to it. I think everybody is just trying to get a gel in chemistry and just learning the system. So, like I said, collectively we're getting better, and I'm just glad to be here.
Chris, first time we're getting to meet you in person. Can you describe for us why a college basketball player might want to jump to the NFL and kind of your journey to now this point?
Why not? It was a hell of an opportunity that was presented to me, and I tried it, and I think it's safe to say it's one of the best bets I ever made. But it's been great.
Can you describe for us the room as a whole, the tight end group? I mean, obviously you've got a young guy in Luke Farrell, and you've also got some other guys that are young but have a little bit of experience.
Yeah, I think it's a great group of guys, and me, Ben, James. Me and James have been in the league the longest out of everybody, but it's a great group of guys, and very mature group of guys that just hungry to get better, and we feed off each other every day and picking our brains off each other and just challenging each other.
Chris, as somebody in transition to this game, that position, can you appreciate what Tebow's trying to do, and what do you see out of him in this camp?
100%. Look, we know that this transition is tough, and I'm speaking firsthand and saying that. And there's a lot of things and a lot of nuance that goes into the position of playing tight end. So, Tim, ever since the first day he got here, he's hungry. He's asking questions, and he's gotten better. And that's all you could ask for. And that's the type of attitude that allows him to take on this challenge and do it just open-minded.
How long did it take you before you felt like you kind of got it? You know what I mean? When you first started?
I would probably say after year 2, things started really slowing down for me. There were a lot of bullets coming at me initially, especially not ever playing the sport and learning the physicality and the mental aspect of the game. But slowly over time, you just stick with it, and eventually it just slows down for you, assuming that you have a coaching staff that has the patience to allow you to grow.
Was it the physical part of blocking or the fundamentals that was the hardest?
Both. I think more of the mental aspect was more challenging for me. The physical aspect kind of surprised myself, and just embracing that and allowing myself to have the mindset of just being physical, being violent, and allowing that to speak for itself.
This is how the Carolina said that they thought you were the best blocking tight end in football. What does that say to you in an era where there's lots of pass-catching tight ends that they thought you were the best blocking tight end? How much pride do you take in that?
I take a lot of pride in it. And as we know, the tight end position is not only receiving. I think it's easy to see all the highlights and the catches and stuff, but this is just a very gritty Swiss Army knife type of position. You're asked to run routes, you're asked to block, put your hand in the dirt, and try to put a 6 technique on his back. So it's like, you have to embrace all of those things to really, be a well-rounded tight end.
But a follow-up, when they drafted Mercedes Lewis here, number 1 overall, he came in as a pass catcher and was a much better blocker. Mm-hmm. So is there a pass receiving side of you that we're going to see?
Absolutely. I'm working towards that every single day, and obviously given the opportunity to make a play, that's what we're called to do. So that aspect of the game, continuously working on it. I've definitely felt more comfortable and getting better with that, and every day is a new challenge, and I'm just constantly just trying to get better with it.
Following up on that a little bit, do you take offense to being labeled as a run blocking tight end as opposed to maybe more of a Swiss Army knife?
I honestly don't feed in or believe into, a run blocking tight end or a pass catching tight end. You're a tight end, you're a tight end. Obviously, depending on what coaching staff you have, they'll carve out and ask you to do certain things. But as a tight end, you're expected to make a play when, the quarterback throws it to you. And you're also expected to make a play in the run game to clear that run game for the running back. So you just have to embrace all of it.
You had the chance to go to tight end U with Kelsey and Kittle and those guys. A, what did it mean to be invited? B, what did you come away from that with?
It was definitely very humbling, one, to be invited, but also just being around a great group of guys, among the best in the league, very ego-free environment, and you don't see that a lot. You hear in the NFL a lot of guys at the same position just picking each other's brain and learning from each other. So it was definitely valuable to be there, and I was honored to be invited.
Can you identify one thing you learned from that experience that you kind of did not know before, or was some sort of enlightening anecdote?
I would probably say the route running aspect. Like I said, a lot of nuance that goes into that. Playing off of man coverage, knowing how to set up certain routes, identifying coverages early, and just playing off what the defense is giving you. And Kelsey and Greg Olsen kind of illustrated that very well over there for us, along with Darren Waller, and those guys were great. So definitely tip my hat off to those guys, and it was just great to be there.
You just heard Mercedes Lewis' name brought up. I'm surprised Mark didn't actually bring his name up. But we saw him a while around here. Did you study him at all? A guy that really was known as a blocking tight end?
100%. I actually had the opportunity to meet him at Tight End University, and he's a great guy, and there's a reason why he's been playing as long as he has. And being somebody that is similar to him as in terms of style of play, I do obviously take a look and see what parts of his game I could implement into mine. But he was great. It was great having him there and just learning that part from him.
Let's take one more.
Back to Tebow real quick. Is there anything that you didn't know about him coming in that you learned, or maybe one of the most impressive parts so far?
Honestly, I think Tebow is everything that I thought he was in terms of just being a good guy and being open-minded and accepting any challenge that's in front of him. And honestly, you have to respect that. It's not easy making that transition. I've made that transition, thankfully, but I know and understand the amount of, mental toughness that goes into it. Stepping in and just taking it one day at a time and just slowly learning and getting better every day. So I 100% respect him for that, and I'm glad to have him in the room.
Not many tight ends can keep up with you in the weight room. Can he?
Definitely, he could keep up with me in the weight room. He's coming from playing baseball, so he's, he definitely holds it down in the weight room as well.
Thanks, Chris.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.